It's 35 degrees Fahrenheit. See how the old 96 12 valve 5-speed fires up. I'm not sure what size injectors it has, but they're definitely pretty good size. She delivers a fair amount of fuel. Has AFC Live and a modified HX35 on it. Nothing fancy yet. One day. Hasn't been started in, I don't know, I guess 6 or 7 days now. And it's been down in the low single digits as far as temperature this past week. to lift the ass end of it up. Plus, these bags are probably a third again bigger. And the way they're mounted, they've got quite a bit of room above the axle before the bag, and so these don't actually get filled you know, very high in PSI before it lifts it up to ride height. I would like to put a radius arm kit on the front here to help with ride quality. Add all new steering and steering box. And when I do that, I'll probably end up getting some of the far from stock, the big front bags. I'm pretty certain that it's not the original engine in this, and I definitely know it's not the original injectors and injection pump. But if it is the original engine, it was pulled out and painted. It's painted all sorts of Barney colors, but oh, there's the air compressor up to snuff. This Kelterman system has an air dryer, and then that box with a K on it is where the compressor is, just a small electric compressor. But it's got 268,000, I think, on the clock right now for miles. So if it is the original engine, with as much hot rodding as it's had, I don't blame it for having a little bit of blow by and smoking out the exhaust a bit. See if we can see the blow by here. Yeah, you can't really see it, but you can see the oil on it. That indicates how much blow by it has. Load this puppy up. I had to put these later model seats in because, well, that was all I could find. I got the truck without seats in it. I guess maybe that's why I got a bargain on the deal, but load this puppy up with my stuff and head out on the road. Well, I've been out cruising around on some pretty muddy roads. You can tell by the front of that fender flare and the mud flap. It's definitely fairly decently muddy, but these kickback style fender flare or mud flaps I just put on, still holding in there tight. It's not chucking mud all over the side of the truck. I've been doing 30-40 mile an hour on all these gummy roads. Very pleased with that. Usually the whole side of the truck is just a mess. See, I splashed through a little bit of mud there. Besides it getting on this fender flare, which that could be partially due to the mud splashing ahead from the rear tire, but very happy with these kickback mud flaps. truck looks pretty snazzy. I would like to run a larger, more aggressive tire, but these ones still have a fair bit of life left to them. And with a long arm kit, it should push it far enough ahead. These are a 33 or slightly over 33-inch tire. So, with a little bit more of a push ahead on the axle with a long arm kit or adjustable radius arm kit from far from stock, hopefully. I don't know. I don't do much wheeling with it necessarily, just little trails here and there, but for the most part it's just, for this point in time anyway, just a tow rig slash longer road trips. But pretty happy with how she's coming along. You can see quite a few areas where they had body alignment wrong, and this gap here isn't so great, but I had to hold that fender on with a big washer, fender washer, because the whole bottom of that fender had cracked and come off. It wasn't rusted off. I don't know what exactly happened. Maybe a mud flap caught on a tire at some point and pulled that fender up with it, but it's the nicest one of these era trucks that I've ever had. All my other ones were rust buckets, but finally managed to get a pretty nice one. I think down the road I'll Milo's having the time of his life. Come back. For being a little bonehead, he actually listens reasonably well. I mean, most dogs, with a couple of nice juicy deer, they wouldn't listen, but come on. Pretty good puppy, and I haven't really put a whole lot of time into training him real intensely or nothing. You a good boy? You a good boy? Yeah, you a good doggy. He's all full of mud because he's been running around splashing in puddles all day. Yeah. Seems if I keep it under 70, it does about 18 miles a gallon. If I bump her up to 80, which is like 2250, 2300, somewhere there, it'll drop down to about 16, but miles a gallon, that is. For all my Canadian friends, I believe that would be, let's see. So that's US gallons, which is 3.78 or 3.68 liters. So I think it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 13 liters to 100K. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've done calculations like that. But it's a pretty awesome truck for what I have in it. Got it for $8,000. It already had the air suspension on it. Pretty much all the engine work was already done to it, which isn't a lot. It's just injectors, injection pump, and a turbo, exhaust. Has an exhaust brake on it. I put the front bumper on. The Move brand weld it yourself kit. Definitely has. It's been messed around with quite a bit. Has AFC Live on it. But like the electrical in the cab, I had to do a bunch of repairs to get like stuff like power seats working, radio, all that kind of stuff, because somebody, I don't know if it was some teenager or what, but somebody just went to town with a pair of dikes and was cutting wires and making a general mess of everything. So I got her all pretty much, except for the power mirrors. I still haven't dug into that, primarily because these aren't staying on here. I'm not a fan of the 3rd gen mirror glass itself. I'd prefer to run the 4th gen ones that have the whole outside corner as a fisheye. So somewhere down the road I will put some 4th gen mirrors on it and get them all wired up to run off the factory heated mirrors and mirror adjusting control. And I need to find, I'll probably end up having to just get a parts truck to get the proper set of seats for this vintage. These are out of a 98 to 2002 vintage, so they don't have the quick rock ahead and slide for these extended cabs, but not a huge problem. I did put new carpet in it. Doesn't really look new now, but it's been about 2 years. New carpet, new headliner. Never did have a lens for that light, so got a power slide on this button here. The power back window, that's pretty sweet. I'll show you the brand name on it here. I did put a different 3rd brake light in it that actually has a clear cargo light. It had one on there that looked like these tail lights, which, yes, they are pitch black right now. They don't show any red, but when you turn the run lights on or the brake lights, they shine just as bright as factory through that. So they were probably extremely bright before the guy painted over the lenses, but it's kind of a weird black with gold. That's not just dust, that's like gold flake in the black paint. But unfortunately they did some shoddy body work. You can see that was probably a small dent that they bondoed, and now the paint's coming off of it. So somewhere down the road, hopefully not too long from now, I will tear this truck all to bits. I need to get a different truck functioning, driving, you know, to make it reasonable, because I still use this thing pretty often. And I need to get my house finished before I go to tearing this thing apart. But I want to go back with a really nice blue Not quite a sky blue, something slightly darker than that. But it's always been my dream to have a blue second-gen diesel. And I'll do like the paint match fender flares. I'll probably paint the frame as well. Probably not blue, but I don't know. I want to paint the frame one color, the axles and suspension components another color, so they kind of pop. I might do the frame like I might do the frame white and then do the axles and suspension components red. Give that red, white, and blue look to it. I already have a red truck, but I don't really like that on these body styles. It's alright, but I prefer blue. My red one's the little regular cab short box half ton, and I think it would look pretty sweet with the blue body, red frame, and white suspension components. But it's a lot of work. Someday maybe I'll get around to it, but for now it's a pretty enjoyable ride.